Hello and Minglaba, welcome to MI Radio's Myanmar Today. I'm Henry Zin. State Counsellor Aung encourages creative and innovative concepts for tourism. Tamador donates basic foodstuffs to Myanmar Press Council, Myanmar Motion Picture Organization, and Myanmar Traditional Boxing Federation. Beijing to continue containment measures despite a drop in COVID-19 cases. And a story coverage on reserved Aemahta rice to be sold to retail shops at a cheaper price. Stay with me on Myanmar Today for the reports, but let's take a look at what's happening in local news. President of the Republic of the Union of Myanmar, Aung, exchanged congratulatory messages with President of the Lao People's Democratic Republic, Mr. Baonyang Vorachid, on the occasion of the 65th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between the Republic of the Union of Myanmar and the Lao People's Democratic Republic, which fell on the 12th of July 2020. On the same occasion, State Counsellor of the Republic of the Union of Myanmar, Aung also exchanged congratulatory messages with Prime Minister of the Lao People's Democratic Republic, Dr. Thongloun Sisoulith. Officials from the Ministry of Social Welfare, Relief and Resettlement, along with governmental officials from Kachin State, provided relief aids to flood victims in Kachin State on Sunday. The flood water from the Ayeyarwady inundated low-lying areas in Myitkyina and Waimor of Kachin State, including Rampu, Japangchan, Lekon and Myotitji quarters during the weekend, forcing 579 local people from 136 households to take temporary shelters. Officials handed over 579 cloth masks and 136 bars of soap to the flood victims in Kachin State, followed by educating them with key messages and actions for COVID-19 prevention measures set by the Ministry of Health and Sports. The authorities are also planning to provide foodstuffs to the flood victims, according to the Social Welfare Relief and Resettlement Ministry. Myanmar Customs Department, Japan International Cooperation Agency, Muse Namkham Border Trade Chamber of Commerce and Muse Namkham Customs Brokers Association have jointly provided training for Myanmar Automated Cargo Clearance System at the Muse Namkham Border Trade Chamber of Commerce in Muse, Northern Shan State, since the 8th of July. By using the MACCS, users can pay duties via any computer that has an internet connection, and they will not need to go to the Customs Department offices to pay duties, so trade will be faster. MACCS Sub-Department Director U Win Tan, Muse's 105th Mile Trade Zone Customs Department Director A.A. Win, and other relevant officials have been conducting the training. Theories have been taught for 13 days and practice has been taught for 13 days. The MACCS was introduced in Yangon in 2015 to 2016 and in Myawaddy in 2018. The system will be introduced in Muse in 2021. A total of 634 Myanmar migrant workers returned home through the Thai-Myanmar Friendship Bridge No. 2 in Myawaddy border Sunday amidst COVID-19. 634 returnees, 396 men and 238 women returned with their own arrangement, and the local authorities welcomed them at Mesok and transported them in buses to the quarantine centers in respective regions and states in accordance with the COVID-19 health guidelines. From the 1st of May to the 12th of July, 46,337 migrant workers have returned home through the Thai-Myanmar Friendship Bridge 2. As part of their ongoing response to COVID-19, the UK aid-funded Danat facility and the BOP Innovation Centre is extending their online inclusive business training course free of charge until the 20th of September. Initially offered to the public at the end of April, so far more than 800 representatives from the public and private sectors have participated in the course. The bootcamp course has been updated to include a fourth COVID-19 oriented module on last mile distribution. Most of the Myanmar population can be described as last-mile consumers that are underserved by the mainstream private sector because they are on low incomes or live in remote areas. Inclusive businesses engage with people from underserved communities to ensure they get the support they need to participate in and benefit from economic growth. The new branches of Glory Farmer Development Bank, G-Bank, were opened in Yangon, Myawaddy, Muse, Tachilek and Daungji townships, according to the bank's press statement. The head office of the G-Bank is located in Usanat Street in Bayinau Market, Yangon, and its branches were providing banking services including saving, loans and local remittances during banking hours. The first branch of GBank was opened in Myanmar Town, Sagaing region in September 2018. The bank's vision is to assist the development of Myanmar's agricultural sector, which is regarded as the country's lifeblood. That's all with the local news, and we'll dive right into our first report now. State Counsellor Aung hosted a video conference focusing on hotels and tourism sector, and she encouraged the stakeholders to have more creative and innovative ideas when domestic travel is opened, as well as for the long term of global travel competition after the calm situation of COVID-19. Thoda Susin has the details.
The global pandemic COVID-19 has caused a complete stop to the global tourism atmosphere. Airlines are suspended and even the domestic tourism is down, which bring down the hotel and tourism-related enterprises to minus level. After half of the year with COVID-19 is over, the countries with mild infection rate are trying to provide domestic travel. In Myanmar, as the local transmission is almost under control, the domestic tourism is getting on the way to recovery. When studying the tourism again during the outbreak of COVID-19, the trend and concept of the tourism will change to be in accordance with the health regulations. State Counsellor Aung encouraged to have more creative and innovative ideas for hotels and tourism as well as related businesses. She talked about it at the regular video conferencing with the participants, Aung, Union Minister for Hotels and Tourism, Minto General Secretary of Myanmar Hotelier Association, and Dom Myanmar, Vice Chairperson of Myanmar Tourism Federation.
Before the international airlines resume operation, we have planned to provide domestic tourism for the local people who have been locked in their own place for a long time. When opening the domestic tourism, one of the challenges is that no matter how the guidelines are released, the working people fail to follow them from time to time. So our ministry formed tourism management organizations which will monitor the procedures of the tourism, including hotels and restaurants. At present, although some operations have resumed, the domestic tourism has now reached about 10% of that of the previous year.
A total of 400,000 foreign tourists arrived in January, and the number dropped to 6,000 in April, both through land and air. Now the suspension of the international flights has been extended until the end of July. Starting from the end of January, the hotel bookings were decreased, and in February, some cancellations happened. At the end of March, all bookings got cancelled, and in April and May, there were no guests at the hotel. Moreover, the small businesses and individuals are affected, including rental service for trishaw or cart, souvenir shops, and tour guides. To remedy these impacts, the domestic travel is to cater again with new destinations. These new destinations are prepared for when the international tourism resumes. When the country receives the foreign tourists again, the local tourism-related destinations and enterprises will be equipped with the high quality that will be demanded by the foreign tourists, and they will be in line with the health regulations.
The global travel transport,
Global travel trend has been changing since 10 years. In Myanmar, in olden times, our classic destination was pagodas or temples, but travel trend needs and value changed for the next generation travelers. For the situation caused by the COVID-19 outbreak, somehow the ideas, concepts, and trends preferred by the travelers will change. The travelers will avoid the crowded places and choose the places where they can observe the unspoiled nature. Myanmar has rich resources of the tourist destinations with unique beauty and culture. It has the unspoiled and untouched nature. We have to promote the tourism of Myanmar as safe and enchanted travel destination.
The state councillor said that it is necessary to consider that when the global tourism is trying to get recovered, there will be global competition. She mentioned to have more creative concept for tourism and to think of necessities when tourism is getting into a new situation.
Also to Susa, also to do la Midazu Swaro. Midazu Swaro, Nidakani Lule, Harapatram Hoto, Saria, Nika Kanibida, to guide Nebo.
For a group of travelers, such as family, they will stay close while practicing physical distancing with strangers. For smaller groups, more tourist guides will be in demand. So it's the best time to train the workers to fulfill the needs of human resources. When the hotel staffs have nothing to do, I would like to recommend using digital platforms to promote the hotels, such as by providing online trainings of cooking cuisine. For the people to discover the nature, we have to create safe places to stay in. If we have more creative and innovative ideas for tourism, it will have impacts on long-term tourism of the country. We have to think optimistically that it is the best time to review and renew the hotel and tourism sector.
She also mentioned that the government will review the criteria for loan granted for tourism, hotel, and related sector in order to support small enterprises. From the COVID-19 fund, the government has granted over 19,000 million yen for hotel and tourism sector, which is accounted for about 19% of the total granted loan. News reported by Dora Susan from Myanmar International Radio.
That's a report on State Councillor Aung San Suu Kyi encouraging creative and innovative concepts for tourism. We'll move on to the next report. Tamil families donated basic foodstuffs to Myanmar Press Council, Myanmar Motion Picture Organization and Myanmar Traditional Boxing Federation on the 10th of June. The donation ceremony was held at the Tamil Hall on Uwizara Road in Yangon region. Pyotiritu has more.
Tamil families donated basic foodstuffs such as rice, edible oil, salt, beans to Myanmar Press Council (NPC), Myanmar Motion Picture Organization (MMPO), and Myanmar Traditional Boxing Federation (MTBF) on 10 June. The donation items include 500 bags of rice, 1,000 pieces of edible oil, 1,000 pieces of salt, 1,000 pieces of beans, and dozens of eggs. The donation ceremony was held at Tamil Hall on Uwizara Road in Yangon. The ceremony was attended by the senior military officials from Tamil and the chairpersons and the representatives from MPC, MMPO, MTBF, and the media professionals. Commander-in-Chief of Defense Services, Senior General Aung delivered a speech regarding the purpose of the donation at the ceremony.
Even developed countries have also suffered the impacts of COVID-19, and our country is just a developing country. So it is impossible to be perfect in recovering these impacts in every sector. That's why Tamil is helping for the public as much as we can. Tamil also donated 1 day's wage of ordinary soldiers and 1 month's salary of senior military officers. Then we donated 25% of the salary, which include 4.5 billion jets, to the public hospital and the needs for public and retired military workers. The donation items have included the foodstuffs and also protections items. As Commander-in-Chief of Defense Services, I'm really grateful that Tamil can give some amount of help when the country really needs. The public participation is also really important for prevention and control of COVID-19. I want to request the people here to urge the public not to be careless and educate the healthcare knowledge to the public widely.
Then, Senior General Aung handed over the foodstuffs to Aung Thonglek, Chairman of Myanmar Motion Picture Organization. Aung, Chairperson of Myanmar Press Council (NPC), gave words of thanks for representatives of the donors. Speaking to Myanmar Radio, Aung Thonglek, Chairman of Myanmar Motion Picture Organization, said,
Today is the second time donation to the Myanmar Motion Picture Organization by Tamaro. The MMPO is going to also donate these items to the 1,500 workers from film industry at the fourth donation of MMPO, which will be held on 21st, 22nd, and 23rd of July. In the wake of COVID-19, the people are not convenient for their living, so the donation like this really help for us. I am really thankful to Tamaro for helping us with the donation items like these.
Tamaro families also donated the basic foodstuffs to Myanmar Journalists Association, Myanmar Theoretical Association, Myanmar Artist Organization, Myanmar Cartoonists, and Myanmar Film Associations last May. I am Jyoti Ritu. This is news reporting from MI Radio.
More reports coming up later. Stay with us. Beijing recorded no new domestically transmitted cases for the sixth consecutive day on Saturday. From June 11th to July 11th, the city reported a total of 335 local transmitted cases, 95 of whom have been discharged from hospitals. Beijing is set to continue containment measures despite a drop in COVID-19 cases. Agajo and Sweden will tell us more.
Beijing, the capital of China, reported 0 new coronavirus cases for the sixth consecutive day on Saturday. The resurgence that sparked fears of a second wave in China seems to have been under control for now. The city of more than 20 million residents looks to have contained the infected 335 people. Infections are down from 36 a day at their peak in mid-June. Authorities took a different approach to the virus when it reappeared in Beijing after nearly 2 months of no locally transmitted cases than they did in Wuhan, a place where the pathogen is hypothesized to have emerged first. Ms. Zajine Win from China Media Group CRI Myanmar Department explained more on the latest update on the resurgence in Beijing.
လက်ရှိပေကျင်းမြို့ရဲ့အခြေအနေကတော့ဒီဇူလိုင်လ9ရက်နေ့ကစပြီးတော့ပေါ့နော်ပြည်တွင်းကူးစက်မှုအသစ်မတွေ့ရှိတော့ဘူးဇွန်လ17ရက်နေ့ကဒီရှက်ဖာတီလက်ကဆေးရနေဖြစ်ခဲ့တဲ့ကူးစက်မှုကကူးစက်ခံရသူပေါင်း335ဦးထိရှိခဲ့တယ်လက်ရှိအချိန်မှာတော့ဒီယောဂတတပြီးတော့ဆေးရုံကဆင်းသွားတဲ့သူတွေများလာပြီးတော့သူတို့စီကနေပြီးတော့ယောဂထပ်ပြီးတော့ကူးစက်တာမျိုးတော့မတွေ့ရှိရပါဘူး
Starting from July 7th, people at high risk of exposure to the Shinfadi market will gradually be released from quarantine. The first batch of over 5,000 people will be released in an orderly manner, according to authorities of Fantai district. She also continued to give details on Beijing government's effort in battling the outbreak. ဒီကမှာအခုထိလူပေါင်း17တန်းကျော်ပေါ့နော်တိုင်းတာစစ်ဆေးမှုတွေပြုလုပ်ခဲ့ပြီးပါပြီရှစ်ဖာတီလက်ကားစင်းနဲ့ဒီဆက်နွယ်တဲ့ခွဲနေလောက်ထားတဲ့သူတွေကိုလည်းဒီအနေနဲ့မြင်မာမှုအဆင့်လိုက်ပေါ့နော်အတုပ်ခွဲပြီးတော့တီးခြားနေထိုင်မှုကိုဖျက်သိမ်းမှဖြစ်ပါတယ်အခုလက်ရှိဒီကမှာကုသခံရမှုကျဆင်းသွားပြီမဲ့အနေရရှိသေးတယ်ဒါကြောင့်မို့လို့ COVID-19 ကာကွယ်တိုက်ဖျက်ရေးကိုပေါ့နော်မလျော့သွားဘဲနဲ့တတိထားချဖို့မျိုးတွေကဒီစီးပွားရေးတွေပုံမှန်ပြန်လည်ပတ်ဖို့ဒီကျန်းမာကြောင်းသူတွေပုံမှန်ကြောင်းတက်ဖို့နောက်လုံးကျုံစိတ်ချရတယ်ပေါ့နော်အခြေအနေဖြစ်ဖို့အတွက်ကြိုးပမ်းဆောင်ရွက်သွားမယ်လို့ဒီဘီကင်းဆိုရကထုတ်ပြန်ထားပါတယ်လက်ရှိအချိန်မှာတော့ဘီကင်းကတော့ကူးစက်မှုထပ်မတွေ့ရတော့ဘဲနဲ့ဗိုင်းရပ်ကူးစက်မှုလမ်းကြောင်းကိုပေါ့နော်အချိန်မီမြန်ဆန်နဲ့ဖြတ်တောက်ပြီးတော့ကာကွယ်ထိန်းချုပ်ထားနိုင်ခဲ့ပါပြီရှင် As of July 12th, there are now over 12.6 million COVID-19 confirmed cases globally, with over 564,000 fatalities and more than 6.9 million recoveries, according to the latest tally from Johns Hopkins University. The Chinese mainland has a total of 83,594 COVID-19 cases, with 112 asymptomatic patients currently under medical observation. The death toll stands at 4,648. Beijing recorded no new domestically transmitted cases for the sixth consecutive day until Saturday. From June 11 to July 11th, the city reported a total of 335 local transmitted cases, 95 of whom have been discharged from hospitals.
We have one last report on reserved Aemahta rice to be sold at a cheaper price. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Under the performance of the Myanmar Rice Federation, Aemahta rice purchased from export companies as the country's reserved rice will be sold at a much fairer price to the registered retail shops. The shops must resell the rice to the consumers not exceeding 1,000 kyats to 1,100 kyats per p. It is to support the grassroots people and daily waged workers to fulfill daily consumption. For more on the story, we turn to our reporter, Toras Wizin.
A 10% of total rice export has to be sold to the country as the nation's reserved rice. And according to the new announcement made by Myanmar Rice Federation MRF, only 5% will be sold as the reserved rice. The state's emergency rice reserve is to ensure the food security, keep the price stable in the domestic market, continue to export them regularly, lessen the worries of the consumers during the pandemic, and not to harm the rice production of farmers due to the price fall when the new paddy is harvested. Therefore, the rice has been purchased from the exporters since the end of April. Until the 26th of June, over 2.13 million tons of rice have been exported, and according to the data as of 11th of June, the state has purchased more than 34,000 tons of rice from 123 companies, and the rice has been stored at 9 warehouses. The MRF released a new announcement on the 8th of July, stating that the rice, Aemahta variety, purchased from the export companies as country's reserved rice, will be sold at a much fairer price to the registered retail shops. The reserved rice has been planned to be sold at 22,800 kyats per 108-pound bag, with a maximum of 200 bags per batch. The shops must resell the rice to the consumers not exceeding than 1,000 to 1,100 kyats per p, depending on the regions. Aung, Vice Chairman of Myanmar Rice Federation, explained more about it through a phone interview.
The reserve rice will be sold at 1,000 per p to the retail shops in areas where grassroots people live and the laborers for the labor-intensive factory work. We have 1 million rice bags to sell to the local rice shops. The reserve rice will be sold to about 300 retail shops from Yangon region, 60 from Naypyidaw, and 150 from Mandalay. The retail shops have to sell the purchase rice at a specific price. We're collaborating with the Department of Consumer Affairs to monitor the sale of retail shops not to exceed the price. In Yangon, Mandalay, and Naypyidaw, the rice will be sold at 1,000 per p, and in other regions and states, they can add transportation fee but not to exceed 1,100 kyats.
The economic impact posed by the COVID-19 affected the grassroots people and daily wage workers to fulfill their daily consumption. When the COVID-19 outbreak started in Myanmar, the panic buying led to a slight increase in price of basic commodities, but it was successfully controlled. Wu Dang, Chairman of Management Committee of Sri Limban Industrial Zone, also spoke to MI Radio.
We welcome the effort to provide the good quality rice at fair price, and we are willing to cooperate. In rainy season, it is difficult to store the rice because of the much moisture. So the rice to be sold should ensure to be in good quality. For the rice shops, they should have transparency for prices. We request not to take advantage of the people who are struggling with the challenges because of COVID-19.
The government also distributed the 5 kinds of essential food items to the households in April, and for the second time of assistance, it is providing cash assistance. News reported by Toras Wizin from Myanmar International Radio.
That's all we have for today's reports, and here's the international news on Myanmar Today. The total number of COVID-19 cases is approaching 13 million globally, with more than 567,000 deaths. According to the World Health Organization, more than 230,000 new COVID-19 cases have been reported in the world over the past 24 hours. Countries in Eastern Europe are facing a spike in new infections. To contain the spread of the virus, Croatia, issued a mandatory face mask order. Hungary imposed travel bans and quarantines. Violent protests erupted in Serbia over the government's handling of the pandemic. The number of new cases in the U.S. continues to lead the world. Florida has reported at least 15,299 new cases Sunday, the highest single-day increase since the COVID-19 outbreak began. With the United States grappling with the worst coronavirus outbreak in the world, Florida hit a grim milestone Sunday, shattering the national record for a state's largest single-day increase in positive cases. Deaths from the virus have also been rising in the U.S., especially in the South and West, though still well below the heights hit in April, according to a recent AP analysis of data from Johns Hopkins University. In Florida, where parts of Walt Disney World reopened Saturday, 15,299 people tested positive for a total of 269,811 cases, and 45 deaths were recorded, according to State Department of Health statistics reported Sunday. The state would rank fourth in the world for new cases if it were a country, according to a Reuters analysis. More than 40 hospitals in Florida say their intensive care facilities are operating at full capacity. In other news, as of Sunday noon, 141 people have died or are missing, and 37.89 million others have been affected due to floods in 27 provincial-level regions in China, including eastern Anhui and Jiangxi provinces. China's State Flood Control and Drought Relief Headquarters upgraded the emergency response for flood control from Level 3 to Level 2 on Sunday, as incessant downpours continued to wreak havoc across vast stretches of the country. China's National Observatory on Saturday renewed its yellow alert, its third highest for rainstorms. The downpour is forecast to continue in large parts of eastern and central regions in China. The European Union has said talks between Serbia and Kosovo are back on track. Kosovo's Prime Minister Abdullah Hoti and Serbia's President Aleksandar Vučić took part in a video call on Sunday, which was mediated by EU Foreign Policy Chief Josep Borrell. Kosovo declared itself independent in 2008, but Serbia has never recognized its independence. 5 EU members, Spain, Romania, Cyprus, Greece and Slovakia are among other countries not to recognize Kosovo's independence. After the meeting, EU Special Envoy Miroslav Lajcak said that the two leaders would hold further discussions in person in Brussels next week. Mickey waved from a distance, and visitors wore colorful face masks with mouse ears on Saturday as Florida's Walt Disney World opened to the public for the first time in 4 months amid a surge of coronavirus cases in the state. Walt Disney Co. welcomed a limited number of guests to its 2 most popular parks at the sprawling Orlando complex, the world's most visited theme park resort, with a host of safety measures designed to guard visitors against getting infected with the coronavirus. Josh D'Amaro, chairman of Disney's Parks Experiences and Products Division, said executives felt confident they had a responsible plan for reopening in phases during the pandemic. And that's all we have for now. Thanks for joining me on Myanmar Today. I'm Henry Zin. Stay safe and stay protected, everyone. I'll see you again. Goodbye.